We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Searching for old treasures, blowing off the dust. Timeless stories and legendary characters. This is Talking Movies.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Hey everybody, what is going on? And welcome back to another Talking Movies. So, on today's Talking Movies, we will be talking about a particular film where a man named Jack Webb, who did radio and television series and was uncredited for this, but the movie was written by Dan Aykroyd, Alan Zwiebel, and Tom Mekowicz, who also wound up directing it. The 1987 film, Dragnet, starring Dan Aykroyd as Friday, Tom Hanks as Strebeck, Christopher Plummer as Whirly, Harry Morgan as Gannon, Alexandra Paul as Connie Swale, Jack O'Halloran as Emil Muzz, Elizabeth Ashley as Jane Kirkpatrick, and so on and so on. So obviously, as stated, this film was actually based on an older TV series of the same name, which ran from December 16, 1951 to its final episode on August 23rd of 1959. Now, an interesting fact is Harry Morgan winds up reprising his role as Bill Gannon, now a captain. So obviously this is one of those buddy cop type movies. So the no-nonsense Los Angeles Detective Sergeant Joe Friday, who is played by Dan Aykroyd, is partnered with the wisecracking Pep Strebeck, played by Tom Hanks, a hip upstart cop. And the mismatched duo is ordered to investigate a strange series of ritual killings. Though Friday and Pep do their share of quarreling, they eventually trace clues to an ominous cult, and the officers interrupt a violent ceremony. Friday then begins a romance with near-victim Connie Swale, played by Alexandra Paul, but it could hinder his police work. Now, this is just a typical type of role for Tom Hanks, because we know how funny Tom Hanks could be in a lot of his movies. Of course, this before, I guess, he kind of lost some of his humor. Anyway, Dan Aykroyd plays the more straightforward type of character, very straight-laced. I mean, there is some comedy to him in this one. It is not entirely straight, but some of it is a little bit slapstick, but this is an absolutely hysterical movie. If you haven't seen this one, man, you really got to go out and see this one. This is one of those movies that have just been buried over time, because. So what are some of the goofs in this movie? So there's actually a couple scenes. After stopping the pagans at Caesar's mansion, Jerry Caesar walks up to Joe Friday and offers to repay him by giving Friday a lifetime subscription to Bait, Dollies, and Field and Cream. Yet, when the pagans are torching the magazine warehouse at the beginning of the film, there is a large sign on the side of the warehouse that shows the magazine titles in Caesar's line as Bait, Field and Cream, and Cable Girls. Dollies isn't mentioned. One of the other goofs in this, in the opening monologue, Joe Friday parks at a corner in front of a fire hydrant, and something a rules and regulations guru like him would never do, especially when just arriving to work. Another goof up is when Pep rescues Friday from the pagans at the observatory, Joe picks up a Beretta 9mm pistol. But when he turns to shoot back at the hoods before hopping onto Strebeck's bike, Joe is firing what appears to be a 1911 style .45 auto. Yet another one, as Joe and Pep are driving through a tunnel toward the end of the movie, the internal shots of the car show them very obviously passing shops while they're in a tunnel. Another small one is when Joe is eating his chili dog. He sits down with both covered in chili, but when he takes his first bite, it almost has none. Another one of these small goof-ups is when Pep is pretending to be one of the pagans, pouring gasoline onto the bait magazine pile. Smoke can be seen long before it is lit by the cigar. Another scene when Joe, Pep, and Connie emerge from the tunnel after escaping the snake. An over-the-shoulder shot shows Joe holding up his badge to the pagans before he actually pulls it out in a following shot. Another scene is in the interrogation room. Emil Muzz demands they take his handcuffs off, but just a few seconds ago, he was stopped from grabbing a pack of cigarettes on the table, and neither Friday nor Strebeck was seen in interim putting handcuffs on him. Of course, like any other movie, that there are actually tons of other errors, crew or equipment that is visible, such as when Friday and Pep are racing to the airport in the Ford police car, a camera is visible in the back seat in some shots. This is just typical of some of these movies when they were trying to, I guess, rush them out and get them done, especially the comedy type movies. I would like to give a shout out to Sith Lord. Yeah, Sith Lord, you reminded me to get to work on this video for this movie. Thank you, my friend. Anyway, guys, have you seen this movie? Do you remember this movie? Did anything in this video interest you in seeing it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed what you have seen and heard here, go ahead, destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel and you don't mind what I've said so far and you like what you're seeing, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.